When God marks you for something greater, He often removes everyone from your path. He isolates you not because you are unworthy, but because you are being purified. He silences the noise around you because He wants you to hear only His voice. Many cry in the night and say, "Why do I have no one? Why do friends disappear from me? Why do people misunderstand me?" But when God chooses a soul, He doesn't let that soul walk with the crowd. He separates them from the multitude so He can mold them in the silence. You think you've been abandoned, but in truth, you've been chosen for divine refinement. You think people left you, but God removed them so your spirit could grow in strength and purity. When God has His hand upon your life, you will notice that companionship becomes rare. The chosen ones don't fit into ordinary circles because their destiny is extraordinary. You can't fit into gossip, into shallow friendships, into meaningless conversations, because your soul craves higher things. You sit in the middle of people yet feel alone because God has lifted your spirit above worldly frequencies. When your heart begins to hunger for truth, when your eyes begin to see what others ignore, when your spirit begins to discern what others mock, isolation becomes the evidence of your divine calling. God withdraws you from the crowd, not to punish you, but to prepare you. Every chosen one must pass through the valley of aloneness. This is not a curse, it is a holy process. When you have no friends, no one to lean on, no one to understand your pain, this is when God begins to train your soul. He removes the comfort of human support so that your faith roots itself in Him alone. You begin to learn that no human can carry the weight of your destiny. No friend can handle the depth of your spiritual pain. No one can understand the fire inside you because it was placed there by God Himself. He is purifying you to depend on Him, to listen only to Him, to walk where others cannot go. The world does not understand the chosen. People misunderstand your silence, your difference, your conviction. They call you proud because you no longer chase approval. They call you strange because you no longer laugh at emptiness. But you are not strange. You are sacred. You are not lonely. You are separated. You are not rejected. You are refined. When God marks you, He pulls you away from the familiar because your growth demands divine solitude. He will take away every distraction, every relationship, every comfort that prevents you from hearing His whisper clearly. If you look back, you will realize something powerful. Every season of isolation brought you closer to God. Every time people left, His presence filled the void. Every time you cried for companionship, His Spirit wrapped you in peace. Every time you were misunderstood, He understood. Every wound that people caused became the door through which you found divine wisdom. This is why chosen ones often walk alone, because their intimacy with God replaces their dependence on people. The chosen soul does not chase acceptance, it seeks alignment with God. When God calls you to something mighty, He must prune your circle. Not everyone can walk with you where you are going. Some friends carry the dust of the past. Some relationships block the flow of God's revelation. Some connections drain your strength instead of fueling your purpose. So God steps in. He separates you. He hides you. He makes people forget you. He makes the phone stop ringing. He makes your name vanish from conversations. And while your heart aches, your spirit begins to breathe. For the first time, you realize that divine loneliness is not absence. It is presence in disguise. God hides you until you no longer crave the crowd, until your joy is found in Him alone. Chosen ones have zero friends, not because they are difficult, but because they are deeply spiritual. Their frequency is higher than gossip, higher than lust, higher than worldly ambition. Their thoughts dwell in eternal matters, and so earthly company feels heavy. When they speak, people feel conviction instead of comfort. When they walk into a room, their silence exposes emptiness. When they stand alone, heaven stands with them. So people leave, not because they hate you, but because the light of God upon you reveals their shadows. You are light in a dark generation, and darkness cannot dwell near you without discomfort. There are moments when the chosen one kneels before God and says, "Why am I always alone?" And God whispers, "Because I am jealous for your attention." You cannot share your heart with everyone because your heart is sacred ground. You cannot walk with everyone because your steps are directed by divine strategy. You cannot trust everyone because not everyone sees with spiritual eyes. The chosen walk a narrow path, and narrow paths are not crowded. God isolates the chosen not to break them, but to build them into vessels that carry His wisdom, His strength, His authority. When you have zero friends, God becomes your friend. When you have no one to talk to, your spirit begins to commune directly with Him. You start to feel His nearness in silence. You start to sense His answers in your thoughts. You start to hear His direction in your stillness. You become so one with His purpose that you no longer fear solitude. What others call loneliness, you call divine intimacy. What others see as rejection, you see as redirection. God strips you of the noise of the world, so you can finally hear the music of heaven. There is a sacred loneliness that only the chosen experience. It is not a punishment, it is preparation. It is not emptiness, it is expansion. When you sit alone and your spirit weeps, know that something holy is forming inside you. God is teaching you to depend on invisible strength. He is preparing your inner world for unseen glory. When people walk away, God begins to walk closer. When doors close, He begins to open your inner eyes. When the world turns its back, heaven begins to reveal its secrets. This is why chosen ones cannot blend in, because they were never meant to. The path of the chosen is not filled with laughter and crowds. It is filled with solitude and revelation. You must walk alone so you can discover your true identity in God. You must stand in silence so your spirit can hear His guidance. You must endure misunderstanding so you can learn divine patience. God will test your loyalty not in public applause, but in private abandonment. He will watch to see if you still trust Him when no one stands with you. He will test whether your worship remains pure when there is no audience. That is the mark of the chosen. Faith that thrives in silence. When God begins to elevate you, loneliness becomes your companion. But this loneliness is not weakness. It is strength in disguise. It means your spirit is too deep for shallow company. It means your purpose is too big for small minds. It means your destiny cannot be contained within social circles. God removes what you think you need to give you what you truly need, Himself. When you embrace divine isolation, your spiritual senses sharpen. You begin to see through people's intentions. You begin to discern energy and motives. You begin to move with divine timing. You are not like others, and that difference is divine. You were born to disturb the ordinary. Your silence carries authority. Your prayers shake atmospheres. Your walk convicts the lazy. That is why people withdraw. They cannot handle the fire that burns within you. You are a mirror of God's discipline in a careless world. You are a reminder of purity in an age of corruption. You are the standard bearer of righteousness in a generation addicted to compromise. Of course, you will have zero friends because you belong to no group, no clique, no trend. You belong to God. When you try to make friends, you will notice that conversations feel empty. When you try to connect, something inside feels distant. This is not arrogance, it is alignment. Your spirit no longer feeds on surface level words. It feeds on truth, purpose, and light. You cannot pretend to enjoy what you've outgrown. You cannot sit comfortably in darkness after seeing divine light. The more you grow in God, the fewer people you can walk with. The more you understand your purpose, the smaller your circle becomes. This is divine mathematics. The higher you go, the narrower the path. Chosen ones must learn to celebrate isolation. Every quiet night, every ignored message, every empty space is part of your preparation. God is teaching you self-control, discernment, inner peace. He is detoxing you from the need for validation. He is teaching you to find comfort in His presence alone. The world chases attention, but the chosen chase alignment. While others chase popularity, you chase purity. While others seek visibility, you seek vision. And while others crave companionship, you crave connection with the divine. Many think friendship equals comfort, but the chosen understand that solitude equals growth. God uses silence to build your character. He allows rejection to reveal your strength. He hides your value so that no one can misuse it. He teaches you that the absence of people is not the absence of love. It is divine love in disguise. Because when no one else holds you, God does. When no one else believes in you, God reminds you who you are. When no one else understands you, God whispers, "You are mine." There will come a moment when the pain of loneliness will turn into the peace of divine companionship. You will stop begging people to stay. You will stop explaining your worth. You will stop lowering your light to fit into darkness. You will finally understand that being alone with God is not isolation. It is elevation. It is in that sacred silence that your power is reborn. You will realize that those who left were never meant to stand under the weight of your calling. Only God can. The chosen ones are misunderstood because their hearts carry divine secrets. They speak truth when others speak comfort. They see beyond appearance. They feel deeply, love purely, and walk righteously. This makes the world uncomfortable. So God keeps them hidden. He hides them in seasons of obscurity, not to punish them, but to protect the treasure inside them. You are not forgotten. You are being forged. The lack of friends is not a sign of failure. It is proof of your sacred mission. God isolates what He intends to anoint. Your loneliness is your anointing ground. Your tears are your training. Your silence is your spiritual weapon. Every night you cry alone, the heavens take note. Every time you choose peace over company, your strength multiplies. Every time you forgive in silence, your light intensifies. You are not invisible. You are untouchable. You are walking through divine construction, and soon, what God is building in you will be revealed. Those who ignored you will see your transformation and realize that your loneliness was not a weakness. It was a womb of divine greatness. When you walk with God, you will be misunderstood. You will lose people. You will have seasons when it feels like no one stands by you. But remember, the chosen are not built in comfort. They are built in solitude. God hides His chosen in deserts so they can learn the language of the wind, the silence of the stars, and the whisper of His will. When you emerge, you will not need friends to confirm your worth. You will not need crowds to recognize your purpose. You will know that your steps are ordered by the divine. That is why chosen ones have 0 friends, not because they are unloved, but because they are loved too much by God to be distracted. They are too focused, too purified, too aware to be entangled. They are not meant to blend. They are meant to stand apart. Their hearts belong to heaven, and heaven's children rarely find comfort in earthly company. God has called them higher, and when God calls you higher, He strips away everything that cannot breathe at that altitude. When God sets His seal upon your soul, He begins to rearrange your entire world. He removes the temporary to reveal the eternal. He dismantles what is shallow to build what is sacred. This is why chosen ones find themselves walking through life with an emptiness that no friendship can fill. They look around and see people laughing, connecting, sharing their lives freely. Yet, something inside whispers, "You are not meant to stay here." That whisper is the voice of destiny, the call of separation, the divine signal that your purpose cannot be fulfilled among those who do not understand it. God does not allow chosen ones to blend with the ordinary because He has called them to become extraordinary. Loneliness in the life of a chosen soul is not a weakness. It is a divine appointment. It is in this sacred space that God reveals mysteries that cannot be spoken in the presence of the unprepared. He teaches you in silence what no mentor could teach, what no book could contain. You begin to understand that divine wisdom cannot be shared in crowded rooms. It must be whispered into an obedient heart. God isolates you because revelation requires focus, and focus requires solitude. The chosen must walk alone so they can hear the instructions that others ignore. People will say you've changed, and they will be right. But they won't understand that your change was not a decision. It was a transformation birthed by divine fire. When God begins to renew your mind, the things that once entertained you now disturb your spirit. The conversations that once delighted you now drain your peace. You no longer find joy in gossip or emptiness because your heart has been reprogrammed for truth. God has shifted your appetite. You crave silence because silence is where you meet Him. You crave solitude because solitude is where your spirit breathes freely. The chosen are not antisocial. They are deeply spiritual. They are not cold. They are consecrated. You may wonder why God would allow such loneliness to linger. It is because isolation builds strength that no companionship could ever produce. Friends can encourage you, but they can also distract you. Crowds can applaud you, but they can also mislead you. But when you are alone with God, there is no noise, no confusion, no manipulation. Only truth. God uses silence to forge warriors. He uses rejection to create resilience. He uses abandonment to awaken awareness. The chosen soul learns to fight inward battles that no one else can see. And because of that, they carry authority that no one else can imitate. You must understand that when God hides you, He is not punishing you, He is protecting you. Not everyone can handle your light. Not everyone deserves access to your heart. Some people would destroy the purity of what God is building inside you, so He keeps you unseen. The world may forget your name, but heaven knows your mission. God hides His precious vessels until the appointed time. You may feel invisible now, but that invisibility is sacred. You are being prepared in secret to be revealed in glory. Chosen ones carry burdens that others cannot see. Their battles are spiritual, not social. They fight not against people, but against unseen forces that try to dim their light. This is why they cannot afford shallow friendships. Their environment must be pure, their circle clean, their atmosphere holy. They sense energy, they feel vibrations, they discern motives. Their sensitivity is not weakness, it is divine equipment. God made them spiritually alert because their assignment requires purity of perception. When they sense negativity, they withdraw. When they feel manipulation, they retreat. This withdrawal is not pride, it is protection. It is how God keeps His chosen unpolluted in a world of corruption. Some will mistake your solitude for sadness, but it is strength. Some will call your silence pride, but it is peace. Some will say you think too deeply, but that depth is divine. God has made you different. The difference is necessary for distinction. If you were like everyone else, you would never fulfill the higher mission. The chosen are not meant to blend. They are meant to stand out. Their life is not a reflection of the world, but of the divine. This separation is costly, but it is holy. It is the price of divine purpose. When you start walking closely with God, you begin to lose interest in pleasing people. The opinions that once mattered now fade into irrelevance. You realize that only one voice truly defines your destiny, the voice of the divine. God begins to strip you from the addiction to validation. He teaches you to walk confidently even when misunderstood. You learn to stand tall in silence, knowing that your worth is not determined by applause. The chosen walk with quiet authority because they know they are backed by God, not by men. The loneliness of the chosen is not emptiness. It is a sacred classroom. Every moment you spend alone becomes an encounter. Every tear becomes a prayer. Every silence becomes a sanctuary. You learn that you do not need company to feel complete. You need presence. God's presence. In the stillness of your solitude, you feel Him whisper strength into your soul. He tells you that your path is narrow because your purpose is great. He reminds you that isolation is not rejection, but redirection. He takes the sting out of loneliness and replaces it with divine intimacy. When God truly calls you, He will remove every crutch. He will make sure that your dependence is only on Him. You will try to reach for people, and they will not respond. You will cry for help, and no one will appear. This is not cruelty, it is correction. God wants you to stop depending on what can leave and start depending on what never fails. He wants your confidence to be rooted in the eternal, not the temporary. You are being trained to trust unseen strength, to rely on invisible power. This is the divine curriculum of the chosen. Chosen ones often wonder, why does no one understand me? It is because your spirit operates on a frequency higher than ordinary understanding. God reveals things to you that others are not ready to see. You feel things deeply because your sensitivity is spiritual, not emotional. You see through masks because you have been given divine sight. And those who are not ready for truth will always resist the one who carries it. Do not be surprised when people distance themselves from you. Light always exposes darkness, and darkness always flees from light. Your isolation is not a mistake, it is divine precision. God handpicked this season for you because He is planting roots that must go deep before you can rise high. The taller the tree, the deeper the roots must be hidden underground. That's what He's doing with you. Burying your foundation deep in His will, far away from public eyes. When your time comes to rise, no storm will uproot you, because your strength was built in solitude. Your roots of faith, trust, and obedience were nourished in the dark soil of loneliness. You may look around and see others surrounded by friends, moving with crowds, celebrated and seen. And you might think, why not me? But remember this truth, some are built for speed, others are built for endurance. You are not in a race of popularity, you are in a journey of purpose. God is not rushing your destiny, He is refining your character. You are not being delayed, you are being designed. While others run ahead, you are being equipped for something that requires more depth, more patience, and more faith. You will not always walk alone. The day will come when God connects you with souls who carry the same frequency, who understand the same divine language, who burn with the same spiritual fire. But until then, He must keep you separated, because premature connection can destroy divine destiny. He must keep you hidden from wrong alliances, because not everyone can handle your calling. When God finally brings the right people, they won't compete with your light. They will complement it. They won't drain you. They will elevate you. But that day can only come after you have mastered the art of walking alone with Him. Chosen ones are not lonely. They are in training. God is teaching them to listen before they lead, to endure before they influence, to surrender before they shine. Every lonely night builds patience. Every silent day builds humility. Every unanswered question builds wisdom. When God finally releases you into your purpose, you will speak with authority, walk with clarity, and live with unshakable peace. You will look back and thank Him for the seasons when you had no one, because those were the seasons when you found everything. His strength, His voice, His power. There is a divine mystery in loneliness. It cleanses your motives. It removes the desire for showmanship. It empties you of pride. It teaches you to value presence over people, purpose over pleasure, purity over popularity. The chosen must be refined through these holy fires so they can carry divine glory without corruption. God cannot trust an untested soul with heavy assignments. That is why He allows isolation. It is His way of proving your heart. Can you still love when no one loves you back? Can you still serve when no one notices? Can you still pray when no one joins you? These are the questions that define the chosen. Many crave the calling but reject the cost. But the chosen cannot escape the cost. It is part of their identity. They walk through betrayal, misunderstanding, rejection, and silence, yet they remain faithful. Their love for God outweighs their longing for people. Their purpose outweighs their pain. Their obedience outweighs their loneliness. This is what separates them from the rest. They are loyal in the desert. They keep walking even when there is no applause, no support, no company. Because they know that where the crowd cannot go, God already walks before them. You are not forgotten, you are being shaped. You are not rejected, you are being redirected. You are not unloved, you are being guarded. Every friend that left was part of a divine design. Every silence that hurt was part of your spiritual awakening. Every door that closed was God whispering, "Not here, not yet." You are not behind, you are right on time. Because the timeline of the chosen is not earthly, it is heavenly. When you have 0 friends, it does not mean you are unloved. It means your love is too deep to be understood by shallow hearts. It means your vision is too vast to fit into small minds. It means your loyalty is too sacred to be wasted on those who do not honor it. God removes the wrong people so He can replace them with His presence. And when His presence fills your space, you realize that solitude with God is the greatest friendship you could ever have. And when the silence has finished its work in you, when the loneliness has purified your motives, when the long nights of isolation have carved humility and power into your soul, you will rise with a peace that cannot be shaken. You will no longer crave company, you will crave clarity. You will no longer seek to be seen, you will seek to serve. You will no longer chase belonging, you will rest in divine purpose. God will have taught you that solitude was never punishment. It was preparation. He was never taking from you, He was transforming you. In the end, the chosen ones realize that 0 friends was never truly 0, it was 1. One unchanging presence, one faithful companion, one eternal friend. God, He was there in every silence, behind every tear, beyond every betrayal. He was the unseen listener to your prayers, the invisible comforter in your pain, the quiet strength in your weakness. When everyone walked away, He remained. When every door closed, He opened Himself to you. When every word failed, His whisper was enough. And now your spirit stands taller. Not because people lifted you, but because God Himself carried you. Your strength no longer depends on who stays, but on who sustains. You walk differently, speak differently, love differently, because you have been remade in divine solitude. The world may never understand your path, but heaven knows your name. The loneliness that once broke you has now built you. The silence that once scared you has now filled you with wisdom. You have learned that the absence of people is not the absence of love. It is the presence of God in its purest form. So walk boldly, chosen soul. Walk without fear. Walk without apology. You are not meant to fit in. You are meant to stand out. You are not meant to follow. You are meant to lead. You are not meant to be surrounded. You are meant to be strengthened. God has walked you through the wilderness so that no human could ever claim the glory for your transformation. What He started in your solitude will soon be seen by the world. And when that day comes, when your light begins to shine before those who once left you behind, you will not feel pride. You will feel gratitude. Gratitude that God loved you enough to isolate you. Gratitude that He silenced the noise so you could hear His voice. Gratitude that He took away the wrong people to make room for His divine presence. Gratitude that He taught you how to be whole without the world. For now you understand the chosen ones have zero friends because their hearts belong entirely to God. They are not empty, they are full of His peace. They are not lost, they are led by His hand. They are not lonely, they are loved beyond measure. Their path may be narrow, but their purpose is vast. Their journey may be quiet, but their destiny resounds through eternity. And so if you find yourself alone, misunderstood, unseen, rejoice. You are not forgotten, you are favored. You are not behind, you are being built. You are not isolated, you are being anointed. The world may not walk with you, but God walks ahead of you. And that is enough. That has always been enough, because the chosen one who walks alone with God never truly walks alone. When God is about to help you, everything around you begins to shift. The atmosphere changes. The silence of your struggle starts to vibrate with unseen movement. You can't explain it, but deep inside, you feel that something divine is about to happen. Your spirit senses what your eyes cannot yet see. And though the battle feels long and the night feels endless, the hand of God is already moving behind the veil. When God is about to help you, the first thing He does is stir your soul with restlessness. You begin to feel uncomfortable in places that once felt normal. People who used to fit your life begin to drift away. Doors you thought you needed begin to close. And in that confusion, you wonder, what is happening to me? But that's not a sign of loss. It's a sign of divine preparation. God is rearranging your surroundings to make room for His glory. He is disconnecting you from what was so He can connect you to what will be. When God is about to help you, He first gets your attention. He disrupts your comfort. He shakes your foundations, not to destroy you, but to rebuild you stronger. The pain you are feeling is not punishment. It is preparation. Every tear that falls is watering the soil of your next miracle. Every delay is a hidden mercy protecting you from something that would have broken you. God never leaves His chosen ones without a reason for their suffering. You may not understand it now, but when His plan unfolds, you will look back and say, if that had not happened, I wouldn't have reached here. The very thing you are calling a setback may be the platform God is building for your breakthrough. When God is about to help you, He allows confusion before clarity. He lets you face impossibilities before He reveals His power. Look at your life right now. If everything seems uncertain, unstable, and unpredictable, rejoice. That is the divine pattern before deliverance. God always moves in silence before He speaks in glory. You might be praying and hearing nothing, but silence from God is never absence. It's a sign that He is working deeply within the unseen. When you feel most forgotten, that's when you're being most remembered. When you feel surrounded by darkness, that's when the light of God is preparing to break forth. The delay is not denial, it's design. When God is about to help you, He doesn't just change your situation. He changes you. Because sometimes the problem is not what's happening around you, but what's happening within you. God's help always begins with transformation. He adjusts your perspective before He adjusts your reality. He teaches you to walk by faith, not by sight. He lets your plans fail so you can finally surrender to His. He strips away your pride so your heart can receive His direction. You thought you needed more strength, but God knew you needed more surrender. The moment you stop fighting for control and start trusting in His will, the help begins to manifest. When God is about to help you, He may first let people walk away from you. Because sometimes God's greatest gift is not who He sends, but who He removes. Those who misunderstood you, rejected you, or betrayed you were not sent to destroy you. They were sent to expose what could no longer stay attached to you. Their departure was protection. God saw conversations you never heard and intentions you could not discern. And though you wept when they left, heaven rejoiced because your path became lighter. The next level of your purpose requires spiritual isolation. Don't curse the separation. It's sacred. God takes you to hidden places to prepare you for holy assignments. When God is about to help you, He may first lead you through the wilderness. The wilderness is not punishment, it's process. It's the place where faith is refined, pride is broken, and dependence on God becomes unshakable. In the wilderness, you learn to trust God when you can't trace Him. You learn to rely on His word when nothing else makes sense. And though it feels dry, it's in the wilderness where your roots grow deepest. God hides His help in hardship. He trains your spirit to hear His voice in silence, to move when no one else believes, to stand when no one else understands. The wilderness is where ordinary people become vessels of divine power. When God is about to help you, He sends signs, but not always the ones you expect. Sometimes the sign is the storm. Sometimes the sign is the ending of what you thought would last forever. Sometimes the sign is a closed door that leaves you heartbroken. But if you look closely, those moments are God's fingerprints. He is guiding you through detours that lead to destiny. You prayed for promotion, but God knew the current environment couldn't handle your growth. You asked for peace, but He first removed the people causing your chaos. You begged for a new beginning, but He had to end what was silently destroying you. What looks like rejection is often divine redirection. When God is about to help you, you start losing control. And that's exactly how He saves you. Because as long as you think you are managing everything, you won't let Him move freely. God doesn't take the wheel until you stop trying to steer your own destiny. He waits until your strength fails, until your wisdom runs out, until your plans collapse, because that's when your heart becomes still enough to listen. The greatest miracles happen not when you push harder, but when you surrender deeper. God doesn't need your performance, He needs your trust. When you finally say, God, I can't do this anymore, heaven replies, now I will. When God is about to help you, He allows the enemy to rise so that his victory can be seen. The opposition you face is not a sign that you're losing, but a confirmation that divine help is near. The bigger the battle, the greater the breakthrough. Every attack is proof that something powerful is on its way. The enemy never fights what isn't threatening. If you're being attacked on all sides, it's because you're about to be elevated on all levels. God allows the storm so that you can see His strength. He lets the sea rise so He can part it. He lets the fire burn so He can walk with you through it. When God is about to help you, He aligns time, people, and opportunities in ways you cannot imagine. Suddenly, things that didn't make sense start to come together. Delays begin to turn into divine appointments. You meet the right person at the right moment. A door you never knew existed begins to open. You realize that everything you lost was leading you to everything you're meant to have. What you thought was random was actually orchestrated. What looked like chaos was actually divine order. When God steps in, coincidences become confirmations. When God is about to help you, He gives you unusual peace. It's not the peace that comes when everything is fixed. It's the peace that comes when everything is still broken, but you trust Him anyway. It's the peace that defies logic. You don't know how things will work out, yet deep inside, you know they will. That peace is not weakness. It's evidence that God is working. People around you will wonder why you are so calm while everything is falling apart, but they don't understand that you've shifted from panic to purpose. You've learned that if God is for you, nothing can stand against you. When God is about to help you, He gives you spiritual boldness. You stop begging and start believing. You stop fearing the unknown and start walking by faith. You speak what you want to see before it happens, because you know that life and death are in the power of the tongue. God's help manifests through your faith declarations. The words you speak become the reality you walk in. You can't speak defeat and expect victory. You can't dwell in doubt and expect deliverance. When God is about to move, He stirs your mouth to align with His promises. When God is about to help you, He exposes truth. He reveals what was hidden. Suddenly, the mask comes off people. The secrets behind your struggle are unveiled. You begin to see why things didn't work, why people turned cold, why doors closed. God reveals it not to hurt you, but to heal you. He exposes the lies so He can anchor you in truth. He lets you see who's real, who's fake, and who's faithful. Because His help can't come through confusion. Clarity must precede the blessing. God brings you revelation before manifestation. When God is about to help you, He restores what was stolen. Not just materially, but emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. He restores your confidence, your peace, your joy, your hope. What the enemy used to shame you, God uses to elevate you. Every pain becomes purpose. Every wound becomes wisdom. Every delay becomes deliverance. You may have lost much, but when God restores, He multiplies. You won't just get back what you had. You'll receive more than what you expected. When God is about to help you, your faith will be tested to its limit. He will let you stand at the edge of impossibility. He will let the last option fail, the last person leave, and the last hope fade. Why? Because He wants to show you that He alone is your source. When every human door closes, the divine door opens. When all plans collapse, His purpose begins. God will take you to the point of no return just to prove that His help doesn't need human approval. And when He moves, no one can stop it. When God is about to help you, you'll notice how things you once chased start chasing you. Blessings begin to locate you. Favor begins to find you. You don't struggle the same way anymore because divine alignment replaces human effort. The energy that once went into worrying now goes into worship. You stop trying to make things happen and you start trusting that what's meant for you will never miss you. When God is about to help you, He fills your heart with divine confidence, not arrogance, but assurance. You no longer doubt whether you will make it. You know you will, because He promised to be your helper. That assurance becomes your strength. You walk differently. You speak differently. You pray differently. The world may see nothing changing, but your spirit knows it's already done. When God is about to help you, He uses unexpected vessels. Help comes from where you least expect it. A stranger, a closed opportunity, a forgotten contact. God turns it all into channels of blessing. That's why you must never limit how He can move. His methods are mysterious, but His timing is perfect. You don't need to understand it. You only need to trust it. When God is about to help you, even your enemies become instruments of your elevation. The same people who tried to pull you down will witness your rise. The same tongues that cursed you will confess your strength. God doesn't remove your enemies. He keeps them alive long enough to see what He does in your life. Because His help is not hidden. It's public. He doesn't just rescue you. He showcases you as a testimony of His faithfulness. When God is about to help you, you begin to feel divine strength in your weakness. The burden becomes lighter though. Nothing externally has changed. You wake up with hope again. You feel peace where there was once panic. That's how you know help is near. You may not see the full miracle yet, but you feel the shift. The energy around your life begins to change. The weight of despair lifts. The atmosphere of faith returns. That is the presence of divine assistance beginning to manifest. When God is about to help you, you must stay still. Don't panic. Don't rush. Don't force anything. Divine help requires divine timing. If you move too soon, you'll interfere with His plan. If you wait with faith, you'll see His perfection. The greatest help from God doesn't come through haste. It comes through patience. Wait in peace, not in worry. Because those who wait upon God will never be disappointed. When God is about to help you, your spirit will know before your mind understands. You'll feel drawn to prayer more than usual. You'll feel a pull towards silence. You'll feel like isolating yourself from distractions. That's not depression. That's divine invitation. God is drawing you closer because He's about to speak instructions for your next season. Your breakthrough begins with obedience. His help follows your surrender. When God is about to help you, nothing and no one can stop it. Not your past, not your enemies, not your mistakes. Because His help is based on mercy, not merit. You don't earn it, you receive it. You don't chase it, you align with it. And when it comes suddenly. One moment of divine help can erase years of struggle. One touch of favor can rewrite your entire story. One decision from heaven can change every outcome on earth. When God is about to help you, all you must do is believe. Even when everything around you says no, let your heart say yes. Because faith is the bridge between despair and deliverance. Speak faith, think faith, live faith. God's help flows through faith. The moment you believe that He is able, the impossible begins to move toward you. When God is about to help you, He begins to awaken something deep within your soul. It is not always a loud or dramatic experience. It is often quiet, sacred, and deeply personal. You begin to sense a stirring inside, a divine awareness that your life is not over, that the story is not finished, and that the pain you endured has a purpose. This awakening is not born from human motivation. It is born from divine intention. God whispers into your spirit, reminding you that He has not forgotten you, that your waiting was not wasted, and that His timing is flawless. He begins to lift you from spiritual sleep, calling you to rise above fear, above failure, above the voice of defeat. When God awakens your spirit, it is a sign that His help is near. When God is about to help you, He starts aligning your heart with His will. The truth is, many times we ask for things that our hearts are not ready to handle. We want blessings without the discipline, abundance without the responsibility, power without the purity. But God knows that if He gives you the promise before preparing you, the promise could destroy you. So He first shapes your heart, corrects your motives, and humbles your desires. He begins to teach you that real help from God is not about getting everything you want. It's about becoming everything He designed you to be. His help is not limited to fixing your problems. It's about transforming your soul. Because when your heart is right, everything around you begins to align with divine order. When God is about to help you, He replaces confusion with revelation. He starts revealing the hidden meaning behind your pain, the unseen purpose behind your struggles, and the silent reasons for your waiting. You begin to see that every closed door had protection written all over it. Every unanswered prayer had mercy written within it. What once felt like abandonment now begins to feel like divine strategy. You start realizing that God was not ignoring you. He was guarding you. There are battles you never had to fight because God fought them before you even knew they existed. His silence was not neglect, it was defense. His delay was not punishment, it was preservation. When God is about to help you, He sends inner strength before outer change. Many people look for signs in the world around them, but the real sign comes within. Suddenly, the things that used to break you no longer have the same power. The insults that used to pierce your heart now roll off your spirit like rain from stone. You stop reacting to negativity because you've tapped into divine stability. That inner calmness is not natural, it's supernatural. It's the peace that comes from knowing that you are in God's hands. The more you trust Him, the stronger you become. The more you surrender, the more unstoppable you are. And when God strengthens you internally, no external force can shake you. When God is about to help you, He causes your environment to shift in ways you cannot predict. Opportunities start appearing where there were none. Resources begin to flow from unexpected places. People are moved by unseen forces to favor you. It's as if the entire universe bends to accommodate God's will for your life. That's what happens when divine timing meets divine favor. But remember this, the shift often feels chaotic before it feels clear. Because when God rearranges your surroundings, He breaks old patterns to make room for new blessings. You may not understand it at first, but soon you'll see that everything had to change for your destiny to unfold. When God is about to help you, He teaches you to walk by faith when your senses fail you. He will not always show you the full picture, because faith does not need sight. It needs trust. You may not know how, you may not know when, but deep down, you will know who. That awareness becomes your anchor. Faith is not pretending everything is fine. Faith is declaring that even when everything seems broken, God is still in control. It is standing on invisible ground with unshakable confidence. When your eyes see chaos, but your spirit feels peace, that is proof that God's hand is guiding you. When God is about to help you, your patience will be tested like never before. He will let you reach the point where you want to give up, not to break you, but to prove how close you are to breakthrough. It is always darkest before dawn, and the reason is simple. God allows the night to grow thick so that His light will be undeniable. He wants you to know that when deliverance comes, it was not by luck or by people, but by His power alone. So when everything inside you wants to quit, remind yourself you are closer to help than you think. Every moment of endurance is a seed of victory waiting to sprout. When God is about to help you, He stirs your prayer life. He puts a fire in your spirit that refuses to stay silent. You find yourself praying not out of routine, but out of desperation. Your words carry power. Your prayers carry authority. You stop asking casually and start declaring boldly. That's because prayer is the bridge through which divine help travels. When you pray with faith, heaven listens. When you call on God with sincerity, things begin to move in realms you cannot see. Prayer doesn't just change your circumstances. It changes your perception, it recharges your soul, and it prepares you for divine release. When God is about to help you, He restores your identity. You stop seeing yourself as a victim and start seeing yourself as victorious. You stop calling yourself broken and start declaring yourself chosen. God does not help the weak to remain weak. He helps the weak to make them strong. He removes the labels that life has placed upon you. The names they called you no longer define you. The failures of your past no longer control you. God begins to rewrite the story of who you are, reminding you that you are not the result of your mistakes, but the product of His mercy. That realization alone is the beginning of help. When God is about to help you, He activates divine connections. He sends people who carry keys to unlock new doors in your life. Some of them will guide you, some will support you, and some will speak a word that shifts your entire direction. These are not ordinary people. They are instruments of destiny. And just as God sends helpers, He also removes hindrances. Do not mourn over who left, rejoice over who is coming. Every person who exited your life made space for someone anointed to enter. God never subtracts without the intention to multiply. When God is about to help you, He teaches you the difference between delay and denial. Many times you think you are being ignored, but in truth, you are being timed. God does not work by the clock of men. He works by the calendar of eternity. You may feel late, but in divine order, you are always on time. Every delay is strategic. Every pause is divine choreography. The blessing that is delayed is being developed. When it finally arrives, it will be greater than what you imagined and last longer than what you prayed for. When God is about to help you, He humbles your heart so that your blessing does not destroy you. Pride blocks the flow of divine help, but humility opens heaven's doors. The moment you admit that you cannot do it alone, divine power begins to move on your behalf. Humility attracts help. God lifts the one who bows sincerely. He raises the one who kneels in dependence. The higher you go, the more humble you must become, for humility is the foundation upon which greatness stands secure. When God is about to help you, even what was meant to harm you begins to work for your good. The betrayals, the rejections, the disappointments, all of them become ingredients in a divine recipe. What the enemy designed to destroy you becomes the very force that propels you into destiny. God specializes in turning pain into purpose and ashes into beauty. Every wound becomes wisdom, every loss becomes lesson, and every ending becomes a new beginning. When God is about to help you, He puts you in situations where only His power can deliver you. Not to embarrass you, but to reveal His sovereignty. He wants the world to see that your story is not the result of luck, but of divine intervention. He lets you face the impossible, so that when it happens, everyone knows only God could have done it. And when that help comes, it comes suddenly. One moment you are surrounded by despair, and the next everything shifts. Because when divine help is released, it doesn't need process, it moves with power. When God is about to help you, you start feeling divine conviction. He begins to speak to your conscience. He shows you the small compromises that block big blessings. He reveals habits, attitudes, and behaviors that keep His help from flowing freely. This is not condemnation, it is correction. God cleanses your vessel before He fills it. He removes what is toxic so He can pour in what is pure. The moment you respond with repentance and obedience, divine help flows unhindered. Purity of heart is the gateway to divine intervention. When God is about to help you, He gives you clarity of purpose. Confusion disappears. You start to understand why you were born, what your gifts mean, and how your pain has shaped your purpose. You realize that nothing in your life has been wasted. Not the tears, not the heartbreaks, not the lonely seasons. Everything was part of a divine design to prepare you for this very moment. God uses broken pieces to build powerful stories. The cracks in your life are not flaws, they are openings through which His light shines. When God is about to help you, He magnifies your faith through tests. Every trial becomes an opportunity to witness His power. Every difficulty becomes a stage for divine demonstration. And when you overcome, you don't just rise for yourself. You rise as a testimony. Your victory becomes proof that God still delivers, that He still provides, that He still heals, that He still raises those who refuse to give up. The more you are tested, the greater the evidence of His faithfulness will be in your life. When God is about to help you, He places peace in your heart that no storm can shake. The world may rage, circumstances may change, but your inner stillness remains. Because when you truly know that God is in control, fear loses its authority, anxiety loses its voice. You stop running from problems and start walking through them with confidence. You stop saying, "What if I fail?" and start declaring, "God cannot fail." That peace becomes your armor, your shield, your silent strength. When God is about to help you, He brings closure to old chapters. He ends relationships that no longer serve your growth. He removes attachments that drain your energy. He frees you from the past that has held your emotions captive. Closure is not rejection, it is liberation. God closes one door not to punish you, but to protect the promise waiting behind the next one. Stop reopening what He has already sealed. Let go of what was so that you can receive what will be. When God is about to help you, He multiplies what's in your hand. You may think you have little, a small talent, a small idea, a small opportunity. But God's help always begins with what you already have. He never asks for what you don't possess. He anoints what you do. What seems insignificant in your eyes is powerful in His. Once His blessing touches it, it expands beyond imagination. That is why you must never underestimate small beginnings. Because divine help turns the small into the mighty. When God is about to help you, your story begins to inspire others. People who watched you struggle begin to see your strength. Those who doubted your faith begin to respect your perseverance. Your journey becomes a message of hope. That is what divine help does. It doesn't just change your situation, it changes lives through you. You become a vessel of light in a dark world, a living testimony that God lifts, restores, and transforms those who trust Him completely. And now, as we come to the end of this divine reflection, let this truth settle deep into your heart. When God is about to help you, no force on earth, no whisper of doubt, no scheme of darkness can stand in His way. The same God who created the heavens and commands the stars also commands the timing of your breakthrough. You may not see the signs yet. You may not understand how, but when God steps in, everything changes. When God moves, even the impossible must bow down. When God speaks, storms are silenced, and every closed door begins to tremble at the sound of His authority. Many people give up right before the hand of God moves. They quit on the edge of victory, surrendering to fear when they were one prayer away from a miracle. Don't let that be you. Hold your faith when everything in you feels like giving up. Keep standing when it seems like no one is standing with you. God does not need a crowd to help you. He only needs your faith. One person, fully surrendered to the will of God, can move mountains, open heavens, and change generations. When God is about to help you, He will allow situations that seem unbearable, not because He wants to break you, but because He wants to break what was holding you back. He will let the weight press upon you just enough to awaken your strength. He will let you walk through a valley so you'll learn to depend on His light. You see, the moments that feel like the end are often the beginning of His greatest work in you. Pain becomes the birthplace of power. Silence becomes the seed of revelation. Delay becomes the foundation of divine acceleration. So when you feel forgotten, remember, God never forgets His own. When you feel overlooked, remember, God's eyes are always upon you. When you feel weak, remember, His power is made perfect in the quiet endurance of your faith. The waiting season is not wasted. It's sacred. It's the place where God shapes your character, strengthens your spirit, and prepares the stage for His glory to be revealed through you. So hold on. Keep believing. Keep walking. For when God is about to help you, nothing and no one can stop it. The help of God is not delayed. It's perfectly timed. The hand of God is not weak. It's mighty beyond comprehension. The love of God is not distant. It's closer than your breath. The same power that sustains the universe is already at work in your life. You may not see it yet, but soon the help of God will manifest in such a way that everyone will know it was only God. And when that happens, give Him all the glory. Not to people, not to luck, not to your own strength, but to God alone. For every victory belongs to Him. Every deliverance is His work, and every blessing is His signature upon your life. The help of God is coming. The help of God is certain. The help of God is powerful. And the help of God, when it arrives, will change everything.